Welcome to Marantz Rantz, no advice on finance. Spin the wheel and take a chance. Get an NFT and a little education. The system got undertold, that knowledge is flotation. You wanna learn? Well, you came to right place. You're pumping AMC, might get slapped in the face. Get your due diligence, know who the villain is. Don't be a sheep when the shepherd's carnivorous. So come learn, laugh, and maybe you win big. And listen up, y'all, the wheel is not rigged. Everybody get a chance in the live chat. Kyoto spin wheel, you win just like that. Retail fight back and this retail winning. Y'all just wait, man, this is just the beginning. All fellow simians, GME group singing the truth. We just chillin', infinity pool swimming. So welcome to Marantz Rantz. A lot of knowledge but no advice on finance. Don't even need pants, you can tune in naked like Henny the Mayo Man. Internet's most hated. Don't wanna lose your money, then it's time for you to listen. If you're ignorant, invest in AMC, a superstition. The stream about ready, they told us to don't dance. I do what I want. Welcome to Marantz Rantz. 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 Welcome to Marantz Rantz.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Marantz Rantz. Plenty of good information, a little bit of motivation, a whole lot of truth. No financial advice. You know, back in the day, guys, I used to hold these Twitter Spaces calls on my original Twitter account. I don't know if you guys know, but it got blocked and banned, just like my TikTok, and put out a lot of good info. But those Twitter Spaces calls, those were the battlegrounds back in 2021, 2022, where we were telling the world that GameStop was, a profitable company and or making a difference, making a change. I think I stopped doing Twitter Spaces calls when I realized that the speakers could control, the moderators could control who speaks, and then they mute you, and then they don't want to debate. They want to control your message, and then they won't let you out. I think the last one I got invited to was by Toast. And if you don't know who Toast is, he's the internet manager, and or he manages all of GameStop's internet content. And he had said, hey, Marantz, we're going to do an earnings report. We're going to do a reflection on GameStop's earnings report. And it was him and Rod Altsman. I forget his whole name. Rod Altman. I don't know why I think it's Sam Altman, but Rod. It was Rod and his whole investment group with they were called what were they called? They were Dome. They weren't Dome Financial. They had a terrible name. It didn't matter. But neither here nor there. So I was invited to that to do a Spaces call, and I didn't do it. So I was just like, no, I'm done with Spaces. I don't really want to do it. I made an account called GameStop Echo, and when I made that account, I just left it where it was. I wasn't even fishing for engagement. I still don't. I still don't post for engagement or any of that. And I don't go live on Twitter for those reasons, because it's not there for that. It's not for public consumption. Because the way it really works for me on Twitter, I don't know if you guys, like whenever people reach out to me, whether it be like Bill Pulte or Andrew Tate or Martin Scarelli or Ian Carroll, there's a whole bunch of dudes over all these years where you could be in those circles and have those conversations if that's what you're going for. If you're going for the podcast, clientele, and I'm going a whole different route with it, where I'm writing a book and putting out the truth in a one-stop all, if you really want to learn the story of GameStop and the transition and the pivot, then you're going to watch it in real time. So, why am I saying all this? There's some guys out here that they're obsessed with me saying things about the past, and or they paint me out to be somebody that they think they know I am. They have no idea what I am or who I am or how I actually drive this network. But I've been doing this for a very long time, and the receipts are there if you look for them, or if you want to come find out the truth, I'll bless you with it. But until then, don't bite the hand that feeds you, because a lot of you people don't have communities unless we let you in. And I say we collectively because if you were there, if you don't know, well, then you're on the outside looking in. So a couple of us have been working for this for a very long time. And so I just say that respectfully to everyone that's out there. I also want to give a shout out tonight. I want to just put this out there right now. Jeremy made a phenomenal video today for me. And Jeremy doesn't know how it all gets put together, because he has one way of thinking. I've already kind of figured him out on the way he operates. If you guys don't believe my track record on reading people, well, come see how we are. But I kind of read him and I figured it out. And, burying hatchets and getting over things, that's cool. That's cool. He said a lot of colorful things about me. He said he wanted to get back onto GameStop. I saw his video today and he talked about power packs and where they're really hiding, if at all, and he explained it. And he's going along the same lines as where I'm going, where they're not in the numbers after Tony De Niro was trying to say the increases in collectibles represent GameStop's power packs. And I said, that's not how it works. You don't understand value. You don't understand transition. There's just a lot of things you guys don't understand about launching new products. And some people don't because they don't know about streamlining. They don't know about trial and error and what it takes to launch a new brand, launch a new avenue or a new revenue stream. It takes a lot. So when you invent something or like GameStop invents a credit card, it's annualized, the rewards program, they're paid for. A lot of those numbers get better over the years. It takes time. The same thing with grading PSA cards. PSA cards graded, I want you to think about it like this. PSA graded cards cost money to train, money for branding, money for tablets, money for supplies to ship. Maybe the shipping and the rules have changed from then until now, and maybe that's increased margins in their case. So I have seen it get adopted. I've seen the fees increase on getting cards graded and the shipping, all of it. I've seen everything increase, but that's because, and just in the world of business, if you guys are running programs, that's annualizing on last year's number. If I gave you a target, I give you a number, and you're trying to execute and be better, you would try to beat last year's number, but with more revenue. A lot of people do this, just more profit and using less expenses to do it. And you find ways to get creative and you find ways to shave and get there. So all that being said, I was looking at numbers just like you, and GameStop announced that they had invested $17.5 million. And I had told it to you guys. I said, whenever you do a private investment, that certain people become the parent company, and those partnerships are done off the books because there's a state involved, there's a territory involved, there's a product involved, and there's no material impact. And they use words like, and I'll go click on it really quick because I have it loaded here. They use words like individual or aggregate, right? And as far as were not material. Transactions with collectors and PSA were not material, individual or in aggregate, meaning individually you couldn't itemize them out, and then in aggregate altogether it wasn't enough. And that's something that we've been paying attention to if you're trying to gauge just how big GameStop is and the value they have. So something like this right here, transactions and collectors, with collectors and PSA. Now, is that individually or is that together? Because collectors would be what? Power packs. PSA would be what? The cards themselves. We don't know. We don't know what any of it is. We just know there's a parent company and that Nat Turner is in charge of that company. And I want to talk on it. I want to speak on it because, Jeremy raised a lot of questions. And how's Playboy doing? I don't know. I don't know what that means. They can't comprehend responsible investing. Yeah, pretty much. So the way it worked out for me, without guidance, we wouldn't know they know, but they had to guess. What do you think Ryan is looking for to deploy the cash into? Related gaming businesses, completely unrelated ventures, to broaden the corporate footprint? No. You got to think a different way. Hostile. I'm gonna tell you, the crumbs are there in front of you, right? So when you look at this and you ask all the right questions, but it's the way it's worded. And it's the things that Ryan says. I think that's where Jeremy was getting it right when he was interviewing and listening. I give you this example. Erica Kirk is a good example. She speaks about her husband in past tense. Well, when my husband was assassinated, boom. It's like was assassinated, meaning it was like something you were waiting to happen before you actually speak on it. You could say, well, when my husband was killed, it caught me off guard. No. Well, when he was finally assassinated, or when he did get assassinated, it was just, it's a way of talking. You hear things. So if you heard Ryan Cohen, he said something like, we can't get enough inventory. Who is we? Is he talking for himself? Is he speaking for PSA? Is it collectors? And so I always think about something about Ryan that surprised me was when he said, "Hey, I want to do this," and they started doing it. Right? Like I'm going to explain from a management standpoint, an ownership standpoint, it's something to pull the trigger on, where you go, "Hey, you know what, guys? I want to form a partnership, and I want to go ahead and I want to sell cards, PSA graded cards online." Everybody was like, "Okay, you want to sell PSA graded cards? Where are you going to get them from?" "Well, I want people to bring them in, and we're going to trade them in. We're going to give them value, and we're going to sell them, resell." Okay. Where else are you going to get cards from?" "Well, we can get them from PSA. Maybe we partner up with PSA because they've got cards, and maybe we're going to get Nat Turner on our board. We're going to be selling PSA cards. Cool." And what was the truth? What was really happening? They were coming up with a system on how to grade the cards, and they got through all that. Boom, grade the cards. Announce the board of director. Boom, 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 boom. But what happened was a proof of concept. Okay, they came through. They did all of this. But what happened? That's the part that people are not paying attention to. What happened was GameStop went and raised cash. They went and raised a lot of cash. How much did they raise, guys? I'm with you 100%. How much did they raise? $4.5 billion? Okay. $4.5 billion. I want you to do me this. I want you guys to go ahead and we'll go here. Collectors Universe worth. The company's worth $4 billion. Approximately $4.3 billion. So GameStop raised enough cash at the time to essentially buy a rebrand and valuation increase for collectors. Now, I'm not saying they bought collectors. That's not how I'm wording this. But I'm telling you guys that the partnership has to hold weight. You have all this cash sitting on GameStop's books where it could sit. But I'm always thinking like GameStop's like a year ahead. Hey, you know what? We did this. Here's what we proved. We built Power Packs. We're the front end of it. The back end is eBay. The whole engine is up PSA. Then you go, where's collectors? Where's Power Packs? I heard Jeremy say that Power Packs website was, or the LLC was actual collectors. And then I said, oh, here we go. Here's why I say it this way. Because right away, I know how my mind works. Okay, so I go here. I go to Power Packs privacy notice. There's a privacy notice for Power Packs LLC. It says GameStop Power Packs. That's the branding. Remember, this is a co-op thing. If that's your branding and you read all the fine print, okay, there's terms and agreements. There's a request, purchase, and on here, collectors global privacy policy or applicable GameStop global privacy policy. So which one is it? Why are we not having GameStop anything? Because when I go down this whole list and I read everything word for word, the collectors user agreement, the digital advertising alliance, okay? Like there's a lot of things here that I'm still looking into where I go, okay, wait a minute. Maybe they are, and maybe it's a different type of partnership. Collectors, including its divisions such as PSA or GameStop. This is weird, right? Partners. If you participate in a cross-branding offering, including but not limited to those that Power Packs offers in partnership with collectors, including its divisions. Now, look at this. PSA or GameStop. Isn't that weird? Like, that was weird to me. Power Packs will share your personal data, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm reading it. And the part that triggered me on this whole thing is Collectors the company? Is it GameStop the company? Is there a parent company? Is there a joint? And the part that got me was it says right here, or contact our customer support team, and everybody wants you to contact Collectors, right? So this is a public service announcement that says Power Packs GameStop, and when you scroll to the bottom, scroll all the way to the bottom, it has right here, submit your request via an email, privacy@collectors.com. Why is it collectors and not GameStop? Emailing us at collectors, right? So all of this is an effective date, December 23rd. That's today. Today. So I'm asking you guys as I'm reading into all of this, this is something that pulled up for me that I have to go with. I have to, out of the due diligence that I do for us as I don't know, to get you the right info, I have to read this line by line, and you guys are going to sit here in the dark, but wait for me to say something, read something, understand something. And I could even make it bigger so that if you see it on your screen, maybe you're like, well, hold on, Marantz, what are we reading? Because I review things and it blows my mind sometimes. Okay? Johnny Craig. Hi, Johnny Craig. Johnny Crane. You've been here before, Johnny, and every time you walk in, you say the dumbest thing ever, so I'm going to help you out, okay? You're going to have a good life without us. We'll never see you again. It's really that simple. But it's okay for me. All right, so let me go through this. Let me see what I read. This is something that was just released tonight, literally right now. And I don't think anybody knows. But they should. It's powerpacks.gamestop.com. The privacy notice describes. And let me start reading. With respect to the personal information we collect, connection with the websites, mobile applications, Power Pack services, blah, blah, blah. Okay, good. Residents in California, Colorado, all those states, got you. Please say state specific, we got you. All right, non-U.S. residents, the Power Pack services are currently offered to residents in the United States only. If you are not a U.S. resident, you may not use the services. Please also see Power Pack's terms of purchase for details. Over here, if you're not currently a U.S. resident but believe Power Packs LLC may have collected your information, you may still exercise any and request pursuant or applicable GameStop global privacy policy. Information we collect. We collect personal information that varies. Okay, gotcha. I could care less. Collect all my info. GameStop account information. The Power Pack services are provided in partnership with GameStop Inc. and its U.S. affiliates, GameStop. We may collect certain personal information associated with your GameStop account that includes following types of personal information: account info, blah, 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 blah. GameStop account credentials. We may collect your first and last name, email address, mailing address, phone number, and any further contact info. Good. All based off of what you set. Okay. We're good. Order information and transaction history. Good. So they get the most analytics possible. I don't have a problem with that. Payment financial information. Our services may facilitate a collection of your payment and billing information by our payment processor. If you provide payment method information, you authorize Power Packs or a credit card company processor of your Power Packs choosing to receive appropriate card and billing information, bill such credit card, make such changes as applicable. Got you. Don't care. Information about collectibles. Our services may enable you to sell your collectibles, provided information on collectibles you own, and or sell and co-sign collectibles. Okay, cool. So they do all that. Information provided by others. Others may provide information to use relating to you in the connection to the use of service. Okay, cool. Information about you we may obtain. Don't care about that. So this is just a disclaimer. This whole thing is a disclaimer for everything they do. But I want to read the fine print because for everything to be going through collectors, and this is a PSA or a GameStop document, it makes me wonder if PSA is the front end of this engine and GameStop somewhere in the middle. If it's GameStop somewhere in the middle, so this would explain a couple of things, guys. A couple of weird things that are happening, like 41,000 cards on the website. Imagine if a lot of those cards are the ones that you bought back or they bought back and didn't put back into the machine. I don't know how the inventory is split up. It's not much on inventory. Even if I put $1,000 a card or $100 a card, you're only looking at 4 million or 40 million, right? Like it's not going to make or break your inventory. The part that's going to make or break my inventory is when Jeremy comes out and says, hey, we did $300 million worth of sales. And I'm like, hey, there's not enough seconds in your day to see that many sales, just based off of the inventory and the users I see. But I'm curious on this stuff. Okay. I haven't been reading your chat, so I apologize, guys. If you guys have any questions, we'll talk it out right now. Johnny Crine's out? Yeah, sorry, guys. Powerbacks is about to go live. Is about to go live. For Christmas, probably with all these notices going on. Now that we know how everything's going, maybe they have to do these disclaimers and post your privacy rights and choices. Maybe they have to do that. How we show your information. We share your information with third parties in any purpose subscribed in Section 2 above. Cool. Affiliates. We may share personal information with our parent company, collectors, and other affiliates. You see that? GameStop. We may share your personal information with GameStop as necessary to authenticate your identity and enrollment. Wow. PowerPacks is a PSA company? Huh. Isn't that crazy? I'm reading GameStop Power Packs. That's what it's called. They have the branding. They have everything. Oh, this is so weird. This is like the diamond in the rough, guys. Provide customer service related to your GameStop account and conduct analytics and provide personalized experiences and marketing to Power Pack customers. We may also share de-identified and or aggregated analytics and insight data with GameStop derived from your or your users' personal information, service providers. We may share information with service providers who process personal information for third-party purposes, like Stripe, like the payment team. Got you. Partners. If you participate in a cross-branded offering, including but not limited to those that PowerPacks offers in partnership with collectors, including its divisions such as PSA or GameStop, PowerPacks will share your personal data with the applicable partner as needed to provide the offering for compliance purposes and to understand, enhance, and improve services provided through the offering and for other purposes permitted under the terms of the offering. We may also share your contact information with partners. Is it different? Oh, that's partners. For their own marketing purposes, subject to your consent if required under applicable law. You may opt out of sharing your personal data with PowerPacks partners. See, PowerPacks, man. This is so weird. So it's so separate from GameStop in general. This is awesome, guys. This is like breaking news. I don't know pushing the limits if that's how it works. It looks like this is a joint investment. Like that's how I view it. I view it as people pooling their money together to create this engine, and then they're doing it. And so what profits do you get out of that? It would be cool if you could gift Power Packs pools. That would be my Christmas gift for everyone. Yeah, that would be cool. As you direct, you may share information with other companies to whom, yeah, okay, got you. Okay, I don't care about all that. Email preferences, no. See, I want to read the fine print. How we secure your information. The collector's cybersecurity team is responsible for securing your information. Wow. You see, this is mind-boggling. Because one thing is you could own the cards. This could be your whole service via the vault. You could do all of that. But you have to buy the IP, the branding. That Power Packs and GameStop is worth more than and less of a risk in losing. Whoa. What in the hell is going on, dude? What in the world? Sources of information we collect. Like I didn't see Nat Turner, and you know what? This says something to me. I'll tell you what this says to me. Nat Turner hasn't bought one share of GameStop, guys. Not one share. What if he legally can't? Like, has that ever crossed your mind? And for those of you that don't understand why he couldn't, because he's actually in charge of collectors. And if they're doing deals with GameStop, it's non-public information. And he's the one driving the whole thing. Oh man. Sales sharing and targeting and targeted advertising. Hold on. We do not sell data or monetary consideration, but like many companies that operate, vendors that leverage your data and target advisors on your behalf. Okay, cool. Don't care about that. Visit our privacy request form by clicking here. Submit your request via here. Whoa. I mean, this is their form. Is this crazy? Hold on. Okay, I got to call the number. 1-800-355-1121.
Thank you for calling Scanlon Industrial. This is Lisa. Is this an emergency?
Which industrial is this? Ma'am?
Scanlon Industrial?
Yeah, because I got this number as in it's privacy@collectors.com.
No, this is Scanlon Industrial.
Stanlone Industrial.
We're an emergency industrial repair.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye. That number did not work. Huh. Is that crazy? I absolutely typed in the right number. 1-800-355-1121. Okay. Let me email them really quick and let them know. Which one do I want to lose? I want to use. I'll just copy it. I don't care. Excuse me while I type them. Copy. Boom. Let me get it to them. I'm going to write them an email right now. Let them know the number doesn't work. Compose. Paste. The phone number didn't work. 1-800-355-1121. Boom. Okay, I sent them an email, so we'll see what they say. Cool. Did my part. So this is really weird, okay? I understand the fundamentals of the business side of it all. And I had the same lady when I just called too, bro. Yeah. Wait for the 10K. I mean, we could wait for the 10K proof, but I'm waiting for an 8K. Oh, man. Someone sent GameStop an email. Someone send them an email? I already did. Yeah, so my thing got a whole lot better, Stacks. Once I closed the roof, I wasn't breathing in the attic dust and all the insulation, everything that's been up there for years and years and years. So I'm doing good on this. Yeah, that's wild, huh, Stock? People don't know about the number. The number's wrong. So it's not collectors. This is just too much, dudes. This is coming from Collectors Universe. See, here's Power Packs. And I could log in. I haven't logged in a while. I don't even know what I have going on over here. I gotta close it out. I don't know. I haven't been in a while. It's in beta mode. 40,728 cards. That's pretty cool. Let's see what they have now. 41,353. Look at that. From the minute I started the show to now, they put up another 500 cards, guys. Like, this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand. And what I mean by getting out of hand is this is going to be a better format for buying and selling cards. And we're talking about rivaling, like taking over for eBay. You're taking over eBay's market cap or a portion of it. I know it's only 40,000, but eBay sells raw cards. Their PSA graded cards, it's a hard system to navigate. GameStop put into place so much onboarding, whether it be the year, the grade, price, set. I mean, they did everything the right way for all cards. It's the one-stop shop because you got to remember what I like about Ryan Cohen. He's the number one website builder in the world. So he knows how to build a website, how to categorize it, how to have an actual drop screen and give you options. So I am just telling you right now, and people know what GameStop and Pokemon can do together. So 41,300, that's just a mind-numbing number. I wonder how many basketball cards are out right now. So plenty. Look at Kobe. Kobe's here. They got a Kobe card already? I mean, just front and center. Is that what we're doing? I bought Kobe rookie card last week for my daughter's birthday. That was great. The 2003, and then look at this. All these rookie cards right here. So those are the Kobe Bryant rookie cards, PSA 8, and they're there for $85. That's not a bad. To have 3, that means they understand. They really understand. You sell 1, boom, you're okay. You still have 2. Look at all these Charizards. They've got them all. You need one? Here they are. Come get one. That's quality. That's having inventory, guys. And don't think they're the same one. They're all different. The numbers are different. 128, 344, 156, whatever it may be. All the numbers are different. I already saw them. I can see it from here. 4299, 838, 209, 053, 513, 410. They're all different numbers. So, shout out to GameStop for doing that. Going to look at some stock analysts. Look at GameStop really quick. So you guys. And I know the markets do what it does. And don't worry. I'm not. Guys, listen. I'm buying a lottery ticket. Oh, I didn't even show you guys. I wasn't even showing you the Kobe Bryants and all the. They have all these damn Charizards. They got cards for everything. Look at these. These are amazing. 41,000 cards, guys. Just, oh, what a blessing. And you know, it's the other part about that, too, that you guys will see. Is GameStop, not only with the 41, look at this one. That's a nice card right there. Caitlin Clark, PSA 10. A nice card. $59. Boom. 40. It just had 41,000 and now it's back down. What in the hell's going on here? Try it again. Oh, there it is. 41,324. So that's how many cards they have. 41,324. Maybe I just had to reload it. Try it one more time. I don't want it to give me that nonsense. So this website needs to load. Let's try it. It's loading. Too much action going on the website, guys. Yeah, see, now it's back to 40,700. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the website. I don't know what's going on with GameStop today. The book's still going. What page am I on? 110. I'm on page 110. Oh, it's a part that I'm rewriting right here, the bond manipulation. I'm redoing that whole part. So, oh, yeah. Even after Cohen cleaned house, private equity wasn't done. They couldn't control the board anymore. They couldn't drive operational decisions. But they still had one play left. Bond arbitrage. Boom. So there you go. That's the passage in the book. Here's my current position. 2,461 shares. AKA 51 shares. Thank you, Team 51. $58,207 invested. Not bad. So, gonna close that out over there. These damn messages just keep coming through. Jay never stops. I can be live and Jay just keeps pushing stuff through to me. So it's okay. What message are you typing to me, Jay? What is all this? GameStop, why does SEC allow so much obvious naked shorting? It seems extremely dangerous. Yeah, you guys know this. I don't care about the market manipulation angle against GameStop. I just don't. And I know some of you guys think I'm dismissive, and it's just not that. It's the way I've been handling myself on this investment for so many years is I focus on the company. The company's improving, and that's where I'm at. And there's going to be a point in your life where the numbers are too good, and the value's not there on the market, and people will notice, and people will be like, "Wow, you mean to tell me I can buy GameStop and they return this much money on their shares, and or they have this much in profits? So I'm going to buy it for this dollar amount because it doesn't make sense." The rest, and they never have to price it correctly. Don't let it be a system of cheaters. I don't mind. Keep cheating. Keep giving it to me where I'm at. Eventually, you will lose, and I'm talking to you, Wall Street, not me. Me, the investor, I'm never going to lose. Not on GameStop. So, had a really productive conversation with one of my buddies on that, and I'll explain it in a minute. It says, it's good sometimes we forget how important our health is. Yeah. Looks to be 325, not 355. Oh. Oh, really? Did I punch it in wrong? Number should be 325. Oh, okay. Well, 1-800 325 1121. Let's see. That might be it.
Thank you for calling PSA. You have reached us outside of our normal business hours. Please call back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Pacific Time or visit psacard.com for more information. Thank you, and have a great day.
Cool. All right, I'll give him a call. I'll give him a call tomorrow. Do it live on the stream or record it or something. So, yes, our partner. That's the whole point. That's the whole point I'm trying to tell you guys. Where people are trying to find the revenue, I'm not so lost on it. Like, I'm not looking for it that way. I'm thankful for the partnerships that might be announced, but for GameStop to be a parent company of a private company or a private venture, no one will know what the value is, and they don't have to disclose it just yet. But when they do disclose it, it's going to rock somebody. It's going to rock somebody, or it could rock a lot more people than normal. Because why as collectors, why are they putting out this info now today, out of all this time frame? So, I'm happy that we were able to go over it. Breaking news right now. Because there's a lot of people out there that don't know the due diligence we do. They think this is just a big hate session. And because I read the comments, like, Marantz hates everybody. He hates anybody who talks GameStop. That's not him. I'm just like, these guys have no idea. We've been sitting here for half a decade talking about this. And if you've been through the ringer, then you know who's the fakes and who's not. And you can see them from a mile away. So that's been my whole premise for a long time. Let me do something for you guys. I'm going to open up the chat for you. Click the link. To join the show. So anyone that wants to come have a conversation, you guys can. I don't care. But I'll keep going off. I'll keep talking about the comments and stuff like that. Some dude just wrote a whole novel, so I have to read that in the chat. That's going to be cool. It says, "Hey, Marantz. Hey, Cash Yap, how you been, man? I haven't seen you in a minute. So what's your take on the warrants with the target of $32 and the expiry of October 26th? Makes me think that Ryan Cohen and GameStop must believe that they would be, that we would be more than 32 before expiry. No? That is correct. That is correct. And I think they understand where they're headed. But offering warrants allows the current bondholders to increase said ownership. So when you offer a warrant, it's in steps. Okay, this is like a step thing. You wouldn't offer the warrant before the bonds. Okay, so the first thing you offer is a bond, convertible bond, and you have a convertible note, and you have a deadline and a timeline with a coupon on it if you needed it. We don't have one. We're at 0%. So whether it be 5 years or 7 years, 0% on that money. So now we offered position, right? It's the idea of, do I want to own 100% of a grape or do I want to own 90% of a watermelon? I want 90% of that watermelon. That's what I really want, because we need a bigger market cap. The whole idea that's being masked, that people are negating and forgetting and don't even want to talk about it, is that GameStop is different today than it was a year ago when they were raising $4 billion. And it's much different than it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when they were losing $500 million. Here's why GameStop's so different. If GameStop had $32 billion worth of market cap like they did in 2021, if they had $15 billion like they did at the end of 2021, they would be at the time eligible for the S&P 500 if they were a profitable company. They weren't. GameStop is now a profitable company. And because they're a profitable company that nets $1 return per share, you'll find that out after quarter four, the idea that you're trying to pin them to the ground, you can't, because they actually have earnings. And Jay's doing it again. He's texting me again. Anything else, Jay? Thank you, sir. I love Jay. He's my boy. But I'm literally live. And the noise goes off, and it's like one of those things. Anyway, back to the story that I'm trying to tell you guys. GameStop is in a unique position that people forget, that they don't understand it. They don't see it. They view GameStop versus number for number, right? Like market cap and price of the stock. And it's like, yeah, GameStop's $21 a share today. Yeah, it hasn't moved in 14 months, 16 months. It was $21 back then too. And I'm just going to be like, yeah, but back then they only made $6 million a year. Now they make $600 million. Like, do you get the difference? The fact that I can buy these shares at the same price, that's awesome. But the company has elevated and changed and transitioned. So the fight against GameStop is not letting their market cap pass a certain dollar amount, because then they would be eligible. And you'd have a hard time convincing people that grade off of numbers. You'd be like, well, they're in the S&P 500. But look at all the people that are in now. Look at all the people that have gotten in and they were the opposite side of the trade, whether it be Apollo, KKR, and or Carvana. People get into it, Palantir. People get into it, and they've been the hedge to a trade and the leverage to the market, and all of that's going to come down one day. That's going to come crumbling down, because if you've done your due diligence with Connect the Dots, if you guys are reading the book and you guys know, then if you watch the videos on YouTube, here's what you know. Private equity invests money into companies that flourish. But there's also a short side of that trade, and that short side could be a swap. It could be just short shares themselves. In this case, 16% of the float is short. That's still too much. How could you short this stock when it's increased in value and it's increased in profits over the last 10 quarters? To go from losing $519 million on a trailing 12 10 quarters ago to now in turn be $421 million, that's a swing profit of almost $1 billion. Then you go ahead and add on quarter four of this year, and it will be definitely past $1 billion. So you see the profits happening. You see the transition happening. But we're in a different world today because we are a profitable company. We weren't previously. So it's a whole new set of rules. Whole new set of rules. So finding leverage and holding a position for collateral against your short, that's one thing. But there are some diminished investments here. We used to talk about the diminished return, and a lot of that comes from the bullet theory. And this is what I want to tell you guys, that it never leaves my mind, and I always like to remind people about this theory and why it matters so much. The bullet theory is this: when a gun fires and you have friction, and you have a bullet and gunpowder, and they explode out of a shell, the disruption around the muzzle happens. But over time, it gets back to normal. And the only time you can create that disruption again is if you pull the trigger again. And this is GameStop. GameStop disrupts the market. It goes up to the sky, goes violent, crazy, and then it comes back down to earth. And you ask yourself, when are they going to shoot that gun again? When are they going to theoretically fire a bullet to just test out the environment that surrounds it? They wanted to do a stress test. They did that last year, and they saw the stock go from $10, $9.95, all the way up to $75 in a shot. Well, let's go ahead and bring it back down. Let's not disturb the peace. Let's bring it all back. But remember this, as you keep doing it, as you keep firing, you might go deaf on the first one. You might not be able to hear. My ears are ringing. But by the third one, you can't hear. You're numb to it. So you develop this tolerance. That's what we've done. We've developed a tolerance to the up and downs of the markets. When the stock goes from 20 to 30, we don't look at each other and say, oh my God, we're so rich, we're up 30%. We're numb to it. We're numb to price action. We're numb to the movements of the stock. If you never showed me the TA ever again, if I've never looked at a chart again, I'd be happy. I want to look at earnings reports. I want to understand the float versus those earnings reports, the new product, the business. I want to understand business, not investing, because I've already learned the investment part. The investment part is I buy things, and the things I buy, I worry about the price I paid for them. That's the difference. And the price I pay right now is $21.38. But my $21.38 are a miles different than what it was $21 ago 2 years ago. I was buying $21 worth of a share 2 years ago, and they were losing $300 million, $500 million. I'm buying that same dollar amount, but guess what? They're making $600 million. So Wall Street can play this game, but they're playing a very dangerous game. We got into this conversation because of the warrants. When you raise cash, you're raising cash with the idea that someone wants to invest into you. A lot of people think bondholders, it's just bond arbitrage. Well, you didn't pick the number $4 billion out of thin air. You didn't say, I wonder if I could get this. That's not how that worked. It worked because you had someone already on the line, someone who was ready to go ahead and do the offering and buy the equity, buy the position. And they did, and we know that because it got executed so fast. I've seen people do offerings and they don't get filled and they don't sell the bonds in full. I don't know. It's going to take me a week or two. And you should find bondholders. You should find bond buyers. But those notes that they sell off right away, they go, I bought this and here I'm going to sell them and make money. And what do? They play it up and down. They pin it down, volatility, all that talk, right? GameStop goes ahead and they go against it. And here's how you know that they're playing to win, because they did it in the correct order. They offered a bond, and then they offered another bond, and then to both bondholders that are paying 28, 29% premiums for those said shares, they went ahead and said, you know what? We're going to do a warrant offering at $32 at a strike price higher than your initial investments. But if you want the 10%, because it's a 10% warrant. If you want 10% equity, extend your bond up to that level and that dollar amount for those same said shares. So them offering additional 10% had nothing to do with offering you, the investors, the 10%. No, if you guys want to buy it and you're not diluted and you're doing good, great, you're in it to win it. But it's all made for the bond holder. That's what that is. And it's in that order for that reason. You would never do the bond. You would never do the warrant before the bond. If you did, then that's true dilution to bondholders. They did it the other way around. Yes, bug with the website. You punched it in correctly. When you're a software tester, you learn not to trust. Oh, I love that trope. I wonder what % of large investments are made on margin, because keeping GameStop stock low over a prolonged period effectively means only cash accounts can wait for price discovery. Yes, to a point. If you're leveraged with cash, then you're fine. If you bought on margin and over time they get rid of you, that's fine. I mean, you're going to lose some of your other blue chips if you want to hang on, but forced liquidation is one thing. Oh, you know what? I also want to talk to you about this. I saw a video that Jay sent to me. It was an interview on Joe Rogan. And it was some dude putting me to sleep with the doomsday shit. Guys, please spare me with this stuff, okay? There is a securities investment protection clause thing that exists. It's like your FDIC, but it's called the SIPC, if I'm not mistaken. I've talked about this before. You're protected up to $500,000, $500,000, if you hold a secured position in securities with any bank, any brokerage firm. So if that brokerage firm goes upside down because they were invested into NVIDIA and their books are all backwards, whatever, you're still protected up to $500,000. I mean, it's not the end of the world. A lot of you guys don't even have 500 grand in there. I just think that the problems that they try to put on people are not problems for everybody. It's one of those things. I'm gonna do this thing where I register, where I allow people to call into the show on the weekends when I'm not live, and it's gonna record the calls, and then I'm gonna answer back to them. I mean, and imagine if you're like, "Go, we gotta hire a whole answering team." No, you don't. How do you know how many you're gonna get? It's one of those things. That's my whole point. Like, how many people do you think are really gonna lose money? And you guys probably don't even know what the hell I'm talking about when I was like saying that whole analogy. But my point is, it's like you can't plan for things that haven't happened with the fear of this could. I mean, you're fear mongering at that point. Like, we tell the truth here on GameStop, it's not fear. We tell the truth about the whole market, it's not fear. I'm not trying to put fear into you. I'm putting a whole lot of truth into you. Maybe a good gaming analogy is New Game Plus. We're back at the same level, but now we have different gear, different abilities. Old enemies won't be a threat like before. Hi-oh. I mean, yesterday in gaming, if you're playing the game like Diablo, you play Diablo, and by the time you've already passed it on normal, you're in Nightmare. And so you're doing it again, but with better gear, and maybe they're a little bit harder. But you know the game. You know how it works. So catch me on Hell mode when you die and you lose all your gear. That's always fun. I think my son's playing part 4 right now. So I just want you guys to know what's happening with GameStop and Power Packs, what's happening overall with the company, and how to find value, and why Wall Street's dodging it. They have no choice. It would be suicide. So all the publications that write stories like GameStop's going to zero, better off buying this stock, all of those publications, they all represent private equity that's leveraged on the other side of a short trade. And when I say leverage, we're talking about investment dollars. We're talking about it could be bonds, it could be credit, distressed credit. Imagine, and then this is how people need to view it, because some people don't view it this way. Imagine if these companies had these short positions on dead stocks, companies that are going to go down to the ground, they're trash. HYMC is a good example. So you have companies that go straight to the ground. And you go, okay, well, we're pumping and we're dumping those, but all because they need to pump liquidity out of something to offset a short position that they have. Well, one day NVIDIA is going down. One day you're going to find some real non-value. Like, to give an example, I believe it was Google. Alphabet announced that they're doing an investment in data centers and power, and it was $4.5 billion today. I said, oh my God, that's a small number. That's a small number in the AI investment world, but it's a realistic number probably. It's probably the first true realistic report, but everybody's banking on the fact that quarter four for this year, quarter four with the S&P 500, up over 4% on earnings across the board. Guys, that's all CapEx. That's CapEx. That is Mag 7 stocks carrying the whole market based off of CapEx. This gravy train stops somewhere someday. It has no choice. But when you lose your collateral over the short you're holding, some things are going to pop up. You're going to find some real weeds growing in that grass. That's all I can say. So that's where I'm at with it right now with GameStop. And they're not giving it value because they're very fearful that we're going to get into the S&P 500. I'm a firm believer in that. And they couldn't afford that because then their short position would then be partnered up with their long positions. That's why ETFs matter in that sense. I'm aware that we have some guys who are brain dead on timelines and cycles, and any cycle you ever thought you knew about GameStop has been ruined and proven wrong. That's why Richard Newton doesn't exist. That's why Reese Politics doesn't know what he's talking about when he talks about that either. Everything's been proven wrong, and those people all gave up and left. The only thing that's been proven accurate is private equity manipulating publicly traded companies, and Ryan Cohen acknowledged that. Ryan did. It's not like I invented the idea of connect the dots out of thin air. Oh, wait, I did. But in addition to that, Ryan Cohen co-signed it. So if you don't want to believe the CEO, chairman of the board, and you don't want to believe the book, and you don't want to believe the story, the videos here that we show you, then don't. Then don't. Then you'll be that kid who's sitting out there complaining about dark bulls. You'll be out there sitting and complaining about short percentage. You'll be out there talking about that bullshit. We're all in the same basket. No, you don't know how these baskets work. We're not in the same basket. That's the point. If we were, it would be like Tesla. Finally, everyone saw Tesla get into the S&P 500, and what did they do? 9 years of shorting rocket that stock from 400 to 6,000, the equivalent, and that's a real run. People probably never saw it coming. They didn't understand, and they still don't know why today Tesla trades at 200 to 300 times PE ratio. You're at a 200 and 300 PE ratio, not because you're inventing robots, but because it's an elevated short position for the last decade that people have been hanging on to and cashed into. Now it's off and running to the top, and everybody stopped shorting. They went and ran long with it. It's going to happen to GameStop. GameStop's going to be at the bottom until they're not. But the minute it gets announced, S&P 500, I would anticipate an avalanche coming for GameStop all the way to the top, not in a downward motion, but in a top motion. Like, you're going to go to the top, and people are going to come pouring into the stock, and it's going to run. And it's going to run somewhere that you can't, and then the new knock will be, it trades off of fundamentals that don't exist, and Ryan Cohen's going to be a trillionaire, and we're going to have those conversations in the near future. And so I'm happy for it because I understand this market better than I ever have in my life, and that's what I'm looking at. Shorts are future buyers. The shorts are future longs. Yes, Blake Cliff, without a doubt. So I know this is a forever battle. I know that part. But I also know that Ryan Cohen's moving in the shadows for the betterment of you, the investor. That's what I do know. So that guy's never done me wrong. Let's put it that way. Anyway, no one came into the Discord. No one had any questions. I'm cool with it. Not that I need to see you guys. It is 7 o'clock. I'm putting on my headphones. I'm going to go do the dishes. I'm going to do what real men do. I'm going to get up out here and do some stuff. I love you guys. I'm like I said before, I give credit to Jeremy's video. It triggered me to go look a little deeper to figure it out. And what have we figured out? Well, nothing concrete just yet. We're all still waiting for the same announcements. But it looks like you have a Collectors and PSA running the show, GameStop doing the branding and IP, and then maybe somewhere in the middle there's some money to be had. But we're going to see what that money is, and we'll see exactly how it fumbles onto the balance sheet. The one thing I do remember about Ryan Cohen, he said, there's no moonshots here. It's all hard work and dedication and selfless service to the nation. Hey, buddy, I just wanted to thank you for all your information. And I was spouting out some of it to these guys at a party, and they said, you must go read it a lot. And I said, no, I follow Marantz Rantz. Thank you, man. And OJ, Jay, I'm going to tell you something before I take off. This is for a lot of you viewers who have been with me for 5 years. If you've watched every episode of the show, if you've met me in person, you know what I am, you know how I am, you know the temperament for the better of what GameStop is. There are people out there that will paint you a certain way, that will try to speak on your name a certain way and try to ruin everything you do because they're unhappy with their lives. They're miserable people. But that's okay. There's room for everyone on the ship. They just have to grow up and figure it out. That's it. But these are tough lessons to learn. I did a whole session about my truck and my cars and how I live my life and about buying vehicles. I did that today on the show. And I'm going to tell you guys, I do a lot of this out of education for you, but it helps me. It helps me understand my investments. It helps me understand the way I live. And so it's just as equally as beneficial for me to you. So, Jay, if you weren't around, I probably wouldn't be around. If I didn't have all the guys in the chat, I probably wouldn't be around. I don't know where I'd be, but I know where you guys would be. Looking, searching. It's good times, man. So I appreciate you, Jay. And if we never find another friend, Jay, if we never find another Frank, if we never find another talking buddy on any of these investments, if there's not another new viewer, I'm okay. I have GameStop. I'm okay. Watch God work. That's all I can tell you. I'm forever thankful. GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop. GameStop. I love you guys. Speak well on your investments. I know the holidays are here. I know your family's in the house. Let them know what we do. And if they don't know, now they do. GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop. GameStop. I'll see you around, millionaires.